Chapter 178. Hua Jinyao picked up the bottle and glanced at it. One look was all it took to know what it was. He clenched the bottle and glanced in the direction of the bathroom with a complicated expression. Su Qingsang came out of the shower with steam still on her body. She picked up the hairdryer to dry her hair. Before she started, someone took the hairdryer from her. She looked at Hua Jinyao's face in the mirror, and he looked at her. "I'll dry it for you." Su Qingsang was a little embarrassed and reached out her hand. "I can do it myself. It's not like I don't have hands. I like to help you." Hua Jinyao avoided her hand and gently lifted a strand of her hair. Su Qingsang was not used to it. But seeing Hua Jinyao enjoying it, she couldn't bear to refuse him. She stared at Hua Jinyao in the mirror. From this angle, his face was really handsome. Then he looked very gentle when he focused on drying her hair. A strange feeling flashed through her heart, and Su Qingsang's face suddenly turned a little red. The burning temperature on her face made Su Qingsang extremely uncomfortable. However, Hua Jinyao had already dried her hair. He put down the hairdryer and leaned forward with his chin against her neck. "What? You keep looking at me. Did you suddenly find that your husband is too handsome? Are you falling in love with me?" Su Qingsang blushed and moved her body to the side. "Stop it. It's late. Go to sleep." "Yes. It's late. Go to sleep." As he spoke, Hua Jinyao reached out and picked Su Qingsang up. Su Qingsang was startled and quickly wrapped her arms around Hua Jinyao's neck to prevent herself from falling. The moment her body touched the bed, even though it wasn't the first time, Su Qingsang was still a little nervous. Speaking of which, they hadn't slept for more than half a month. "Wife." After Hua Jinyao put her down, he didn't do anything else. He turned over and lay down beside her. His big hands clasped her waist and let her sleep against him. This change stunned Su Qingsang. She turned to look at him, as if she didn't understand why he let her go so easily today. "Go to sleep." Hua Jinyao kissed her on the cheek. He didn't make any further moves. Su Qingsang was even more surprised. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, she clearly felt that he also wanted to. Just a moment ago he had said those words, but now he had no reaction at all. No, there's a reaction. She felt it. His face was a little uneasy, but more of it was filled with doubt. "Hua Jinyao? What happened to him today? I'm very hot right now. Don't provoke me again." "What are you talking about?" Su Qingsang turned over. She was tired after a whole day of work. She pulled his hand away and planned to sleep. Hua Jinyao put his arm around her again. Su Qingsang clearly felt his excitement, but she didn't understand why he didn't continue. "Honey." Hua Jinyao pressed his face against her neck. His hot breath tickled her. Just as she was about to move forward to hide, his next words made her whole body stiffen. "Don't take that birth control pill anymore." "Birth control pills?" He saw it. Su Qingsang didn't know how to react. Have a baby? At this stage, she did not want to. "Don't take that medicine anymore. It's not good for your body. I'll buy condoms tomorrow. You can tell me about this kind of thing in the future." Su Qingsang's body had been very stiff. How could Hua Jinyao not feel it? He kissed her on the cheek and tightened his arms. "Honey, I'm your husband. If you have any thoughts, you can tell me directly." Chapter 179. The room was so quiet that Su Qingsang could hear her own heartbeat, one after another. Not only hers, but also Hua Jinyao's. Su Qingsang's body had been very stiff. She wasn't sure if Hua Jinyao was telling the truth. She had a hunch that he would be angry. "I'm not angry." As if he knew what she was thinking, Hua Jinyao's voice rang in her ear. "Well, I'm actually a little angry too. This kind of thing should be between the two of us. Of course, if you don't want to have children, you can discuss it with me. You're a doctor. You can't not know how harmful these drugs are. I hope you won't take them again. I didn't think of using contraceptives before. It was my mistake. Next time something like this happens, you can talk to me. Actually, it's not just you. I'm not ready to be a father either." Hua Jinyao's arm around her tightened. Su Qingsang wanted to say something, but she felt that whatever she said would be useless. "I also think it's more appropriate to have children when both of us are ready." "I believe you think so, right?" After listening to him talk for so long, Su Qingsang finally turned around. She looked at Hu Jinyao. The light from the bedside lamp shone on his face. His facial features looked a little blurry in the dark. When she looked into his eyes seriously, they were filled with her shadow. Su Qingsang gently nodded. Hu Jinyao, I admit that I'm not ready. I know. Hu Jinyao kissed her forehead. It's okay. I'm not ready either. Since we're not ready, then let's have children when we're both ready. Okay. Su Qingsang nodded gently. Looking at Hu Jinyao's face, she couldn't restrain her inner desire. She raised her hand, put it around Hu Jinyao's neck, and kissed him. Hu Jinyao held her waist for a long time before finally letting her go. He buried his cheek in her neck. Don't provoke me again. Otherwise, I won't care if you take the medicine or not. Su Qingsang's face turned red. She quickly turned around and said, I'm sleepy. I want to sleep. Hu Jinyao gritted his teeth and bit her face in dissatisfaction. She was always like this, running away after provoking him. She was really too much. Su Qingsang was in pain, but she didn't dare to speak. Seeing that even her earlobes were red, Hu Jinyao finally got up and went to the bathroom to take a cold shower. As soon as he left, Su Qingsang pulled up the blanket and covered her face. Taking a cold shower in this weather was actually quite pitiful. However, she felt a warmth in her heart. Once again, she felt that marriage was a good thing, and Hu Jinyao was a good thing. The atmosphere in the Tianyu CEO's office was a little gloomy. Hu Jinyao glanced at Yang Wencheng. What do you mean? Just as you guessed, President Hua, Miss Su's news has been at the top of the hot search list. It looks like there's a water army behind it. After we found out about it yesterday, we immediately sent out our PR team to suppress the trending topic. There's a ghostwriter? Not only were there fake reviewers, but there were also people who bought the trending searches. But President Hua, how do you know someone did this on purpose? Recently, Xiao Qing's affair with Yang Liufei caused such a big commotion, but it's only this popular. There must be a reason behind this abnormality. I believe this matter is not simple. Chapter 180. We're already looking into it, but they're using an internet phone and hid their ID address. We need some time. Keep an eye on this. Then tell me the results. And, President Hua, the intercom rang. Hu Jinyao pressed the speaker button. President Hua, He Xiankai from his company is downstairs. He wants to see you. I won't see him. Hu Jinyao looked up and found Yang Wencheng smiling awkwardly. President Hua, this is something else I want to talk to you about. I don't know how Mr. He got in touch with Chairman Hua. Chairman Hua said that we'll cancel the bid and work with the He family. Yang Wencheng's voice became softer and softer. He shrunk his neck and wanted to find a hole to hide in. Do I have the final say in this company, or my dad? Of course it's you. Yang Wencheng didn't want to admit it. President Hua, I don't think you need to compete with the chairman. He still has 30% of Tianyu's shares. Hu Jinyao's face darkened. If you think my dad is willing to let you sell your shares, I don't mind if you go back to Rong City with my dad right now. President Hua, I didn't mean that. Okay, get out. I won't see He Xiankai. If he can come up with a bid that I like, this project will belong to the He family. Yang Wencheng didn't dare to say anything else. He turned around and left. He felt cold sweat on his back as he left. He Xianyao saw He Xiankai walk in and immediately walked up to him. Brother, how did it go? Did Brother Jinyao agree? No. He Xiankai looked at his sister. I told you it wouldn't work, but you didn't listen. Are you okay now? How is that possible? Does Hu Jinyao not listen to Uncle Hua anymore? If he listened to his family, why would he come to Lin City alone? He Xiankai sighed inwardly. Now I can only hope that the bid is approved. Otherwise, it's not a big deal if we don't get the deal and make money. I'm afraid that the business landscape in Rong City will have to be rearranged. Brother! He Xuanyao's face was full of uneasiness. What if Hu Jinyao deliberately didn't let the He family pass? Brother, I think there's another person who can make Hu Jinyao yield. Xianyao, stop messing around. You can go back to Rong City in a few days. You don't have to worry about the project here. Brother. He Xianyao didn't want to leave. It's okay that Hua Jinyao doesn't like me. But there's one person he can't possibly not like, right? Who? Su Ruoli. He Xianyao thought of the woman that even she felt inferior to. Don't forget. Sister Ruoli is the daughter-in-law appointed by the Hua family. The Hua and Su families are engaged. Stop fooling around. Hua Jinyao is already married. He's married, but I believe that Sister Ruoli is different to him. I've decided I'm going to call Sister Ruoli now. Xianyao? Xianyao. He Xiankai wanted to stop her, but He Xianyao went back to her room with her phone. In the end, he couldn't stop it because he also wanted to know. Did Hua Jinyao still care about Su Ruoli as much as he did before? If he did, then there was still a chance for their cooperation this time. Chapter 181. Thanks to yesterday's Weibo post, a bunch of patients came to see her today. Some of the patients were not even pregnant at all. They just wanted to see the so-called most beautiful doctor. It had only been a morning, but she was already exhausted. She took the opportunity to look at Weibo while she was in the bathroom and found that her post had long been removed from the hot search list. There were no more likes like yesterday. Before she could heave a sigh of relief, there were still many patients and pregnant women who came in the afternoon. The number of patients she received was more than 10 times the usual number, which made Su Qingsang very tired. Even Hua Jinyao could see that she was tired until she got off work. What's wrong with you? He knew that she was too tired from work yesterday, so he specifically said that he would pick her up today. I'm fine. There are quite a lot of patients today. Su Qingsang slumped in her seat. People fear fame as pigs fear getting fat. I understand now. You have a lot of patients today? Because of that Weibo post? Hua Jinyao pondered for a moment. There was indeed something wrong with that Weibo post. But did he just want Su Qingsang to be lighter? Smart. You're right. Su Qingsang gave him an appreciative look. It's because of that Weibo post. Patients came to see me today. It's fine if you say that it's only obstetrics and gynecology. Even those who were not from the obstetrics and gynecology department came. They asked me if I could take a picture with them. What's going on? They were all patients, so Su Qingsang couldn't just kick them out. He sent people over to maintain order. Some of them were patients and had come to see a doctor. The obstetrics and gynecology department is so busy today. I'm glad that Chief Zhang and Chief Chen aren't petty people. Otherwise, they'll probably give me a hard time if I make such a big commotion. Who dares? Hua Jinyao rubbed the top of her head and said, My wife is so hardworking and professional. I can't wait to praise her. How can I make things difficult for you? Glib. Su Qingsang couldn't stand it anymore. Director Zhang has been a doctor for almost 30 years. Chief Chen also had 20 years of experience. They are professional, dedicated, serious, and responsible. I don't care if they are professional or not. Anyway, my wife is the most beautiful. That's enough. Are you going to go home or not? It was getting late into autumn, and the nights in Lin City came earlier than usual. The sky outside was starting to darken. Yes, but we still have to go buy something first. Buy what? Su Qingsang smiled at Hua Jinyao but didn't answer her question. For some reason, she felt a little flustered. 20 minutes later, Su Qingsang glanced at the bag of Okamoto Super Thin in the back seat, then looked at the smile on Hua Jinyao's face. She couldn't help but blush. Why did you buy so many? She had fainted just now. She actually accompanied Hua Jinyao to buy this. It was fine if he bought this. He even bought so much. It was fine if he bought a lot. And all of them were taking large sizes. The way the shop assistant looked at her just now wasn't right. She was still feeling uneasy. If it's consumed quickly, then buy more. Otherwise, it would be troublesome to run around all the time. Hua Jinyao grinned, showing his white teeth. Su Qingsang felt her gums hurt a little, so she spoke without thinking. You've bought so much. It's enough for us to use for a year. Honey. Hua Jinyao cleared his throat and glanced at Su Qingsang with a hint of resentment. Are you questioning my ability? Yes. That's it. It'll be used up in a month. Hua Jinyao's words almost made Su Qingsang fall off the seat. Chapter 182. Me what? Hua Jinyao winked at her as he drove. Honey, don't worry. I'll try my best to prove to you that this won't take a year. You don't have to prove it. You really don't have to. Su Qingsang was scared to death. Take it easy. A man's kidney really needs to be maintained. The car suddenly stopped. If she hadn't been wearing a seatbelt, she would have hit the car in front of her. Hua Jinyao. Wife. Don't worry. Hua Jinyao steered the car again. He didn't forget to give Su Qingsang a look. Not only can I prove that these won't take a year, I can also prove that my kidneys are fine. Furthermore, it has a permanent battery life and will never lose power. Su Qingsang was stunned. Looking at Hua Jinyao's eager face, she wanted to cry but had no tears. Hua Jinyao. I believe you. You don't have to prove it. No. I must prove it. Hua Jinyao. Don't worry. I will definitely make you happy. Su Qingsang felt a headache when she heard him emphasize the word, happy. It wasn't that she didn't want him to make her unhappy. She was only worried about her waist. When he got home, Hua Jinyao spent the whole night trying to prove to Su Qingsang that not only was his waist and kidneys fine, but that he could also last forever without a power outage. Su Qingsang was in trouble. When he woke up in the morning, he felt weak all over. He had no strength at all. When she entered the hospital, her complexion even attracted the attention of Deputy Chief Chen. Qingsang, you must be exhausted yesterday, right? Do you want me to put you off? No need. She was not tired because of the hospital. Take it easy. Deputy Chief Chen had also seen the Weibo post. You're the most beautiful doctor in our hospital now. In the future, it will be the trademark of our obstetrics and gynecology department. Take care of yourself. Director Chen, you're teasing me too. Chief Chen waved the medical records in his hand and went out. The popularity of Weibo had died down, but the number of patients today did not decrease by much. After that, Su Qingsang even had her meals in her office. She finished them in 5 minutes. Finally, after noon, there were fewer patients. However, she received a patient who was relatively familiar to her. Li Rongrong was more than 4 months pregnant. He could already see her stomach beginning to swell. She had come alone, and when she entered, her face was pale and she did not look well. Su Qingsang was stunned when she saw her. She hadn't forgotten how this woman had made a scene in the hospital. However, the doctor still had to do what he had to do. Let's take an ultrasound first, then do a routine examination. When was your last period? Dr. Su, didn't we ask about this last time? Li Rongrong did not cooperate at all. She had one hand on her belly, looking very protective of the baby. Did you bring your medical record? No. Since you didn't, then answer again. I forgot. Isn't this your business? Yes. It's our business. So please pay the fee now and then do the examination. Li Rongrong didn't take the paper in her hand. Instead, she covered her stomach with one hand and looked like she was in pain. My stomach hurts. I can't move. Where does it hurt? Get up and check. It hurts everywhere. My whole stomach hurts. Chapter 183. Li Rongrong leaned most of her weight on Su Qingsang. Doctor, can you help me to get an ultrasound? I'm in a lot of pain right now. Li Rongrong, you're the prettiest doctor. You can't be so cold-blooded, can you? Su Qingsang nodded. She knew that Li Rongrong was here to make things difficult for her. She didn't say much and called a nurse to help Li Rongrong register. Then she called the internal line to contact the ultrasound room. She helped Li Rongrong up and walked out. The clinic was on the 3rd floor, and the ultrasound room was on the 2nd floor. There were many people in the hospital, so Li Rongrong had to take the stairs. Su Qingsang followed her. When they reached the stairs, Li Rongrong suddenly stopped. Su Qingsang, are you very proud now? What? She didn't understand why she was talking about this. Su Qingsang was confused. Wei Lenin doesn't want me, and he doesn't acknowledge the child in my belly. He even blamed me for you marrying another man. That's your business. Su Qingsang didn't want to get involved in their business. You should go find Wei Lenin. I did. Do you think I didn't? Li Rongrong said with a face full of hatred. But do you know what he said to me? What? He asked me to die with the child. When Li Rongrong said this, she moved closer to Su Qingsang with a fierce look on her face. This is his child. He actually asked me to die with the child? This woman was emotionally unstable. Su Qingsang took a deep breath. Calm down. If there's anything, you can discuss it with him. There's no room for discussion. Li Rongrong suddenly reached out to hug Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang was startled and instinctively raised her hand to push her away. But Li Rongrong had already let go of her hand. The stairs were behind her. Su Qingsang was shocked, but it was too late to stop her. She could only watch Li Rongrong's body fall down the stairs. Li Rongrong kept rolling down the stairs, accompanied by a scream. Su Qingsang was stunned. She rushed down as soon as she realized what was going on. Li Rongrong's face and head were covered in wounds. Beneath him was a pool of blood. She didn't look well. Her face was pale, but when she saw Su Qingsang coming down, she smiled at her. Su Qingsang, if my child and I are going to die, I'm going to drag you down with us. Li Rongrong. Su Qingsang was completely stunned by the scene in front of her. She looked at the pool of blood under Li Rongrong and the people who had gathered because of this incident. Hurry, help me. It was a mess. Su Qingsang and Director Zhang tried their best to save Li Rongrong's life. In the end, her child was not saved. The 4-month-old baby boy had already taken shape. But it was gone just like that. Su Qingsang had never thought that Li Rongrong could be so cruel. In order to get back at her, Li Rongrong was willing to gamble with her unborn child. Was she crazy? Su Qingsang couldn't tell what she was feeling. She took out her phone and called Wei Lenin. No matter what, this child was Wei Lenin's. Whether there was or not, Wei Lenin should know. Wei Lenin arrived an hour later. Li Rongrong, who had lost a lot of blood, had not woken up yet. He saw Su Qingsang first. You're here. Su Qingsang was not surprised to see Wei Lenin's impatient and dissatisfied look. Chapter 184. Su Qingsang briefly explained the situation to him. After that, she looked at Wei Lenin. He stood there and didn't seem to have much of a reaction. He just confirmed, "Is the child really gone?" Really gone. Su Qingsang still felt a little uncomfortable thinking about the pool of blood. All right. Wei Lenin didn't have the patience to listen anymore. I will help her pay the hospital fees. This is not about the hospital fees. Su Qingsang was very angry at Wei Lenin's attitude. Li Rongrong lost a lot of blood. Although she is out of danger after the emergency treatment, we still need to be careful. What does that have to do with me? Wei Lenin didn't seem to be moved at all. Are you saying that I should hire a nurse? All right. I understand. Su Qingsang didn't speak. She took half a step back and looked at Wei Lenin. It was still the same face. She had dated him before. But she never knew that Wei Lenin had this side to him. At that moment, she suddenly felt very lucky that she broke off the marriage. Qingsang, don't you know who I like? Do you think I would be with a woman I don't like? If you don't like her, then why did you get her pregnant? She set me up. Wei Lenin said it with a confident face. Seeing that Su Qingsang was obviously going to lecture him, he said impatiently, all right. I will hire someone to take care of her. You don't have to worry about these things. Su Qingsang didn't want to care about this anymore. She could see that Wei Lenin didn't want this child at all. Even if Li Rongrong gave birth, he probably wouldn't take responsibility. Wei Lenin paid the hospital fees, called a nurse over, and left. Su Qingsang looked at Li Rongrong, who was still lying alone on the hospital bed. Before she got off work, she called a nurse to take care of her. It had been a very tiring day. When Su Qingsang got off work and walked to the parking lot, her phone rang. Qingsang, look at Weibo. Shi Mingwan's voice on the other end of the phone sounded very anxious. What's wrong? What happened? You're famous again, but this time, before Shi Mingwan could finish, Su Qingsang saw Hua Jinyao's car stop not far from her. His car had stopped in a hurry. It was obvious that he was in a hurry to find her. Jinyao? Mengwan, I'll call you later. Let's talk later, she said to Shi Mingwan. who was on the other end of the phone. Nope. Hu Jinyao was already there. Su Qingsang quickly hung up the phone. Honey. Hu Jinyao looked a little anxious. You're off work, aren't you? Hurry up and get on the car. What's wrong? Su Qingsang looked confused. Before she could ask clearly, Hu Jinyao had already brought her to the car and opened the door for her to get in. Hu Jinyao. Su Qingsang called him. From the corner of his eye, he saw a group of people rushing towards him. She was startled. Before she could react, Hu Jinyao had already gotten into the car and started it. The people behind him had already started walking into the hospital. Su Qingsang didn't understand and turned to look at Hu Jinyao. What's wrong? What happened? You're trending again. Chapter 185. Is it hashtag the most beautiful doctor hashtag or hashtag the most vicious doctor hashtag? Dr. S, who was once named the most beautiful doctor by the citizens of the city, pushed a pregnant woman down the stairs today. The picture was of her standing on the stairs and Li Rongrong falling down the stairs. The picture was very clear. Su Qingsang's raised hand and Li Rongrong's falling body. Su Qingsang looked at the Weibo post and was dumbfounded. The vicious doctor pushed a pregnant woman down the stairs because of an old grudge? She glanced at Hu Jinyao, who was driving seriously. Who wrote this? Don't worry about who wrote it for now. Hu Jinyao's face was serious. He had a meeting in the afternoon and 2 cooperation plans to be discussed. So he didn't pay attention to the news on Weibo at first. By the time he found out, the topic hashtag the most vicious doctor hashtag had become a trending topic. But this time, the number of comments was much more than the number of likes. There was a lot of scolding. They were all scolding Su Qingsang. I didn't push her. Su Qingsang felt a little ridiculous. Su Qingsang fell down by herself. And at that time, she wanted to hold her but didn't hold her firmly. I know. These 3 words showed that Hu Jinyao trusted her. Su Qingsang couldn't help but look at him again. The sky was getting dark, but his side profile was as handsome as ever in the shadows. You trust me? You are my wife. Who else would I trust? Hu Jinyao reached out and squeezed her palm. I trust my wife. She would never push someone down the stairs. Su Qingsang's lips were tightly pursed. The warmth of his palm spread from the back of her hand to her heart. Thank you. He trusted her without asking for any reason, which really moved her. Silly. Hu Jinyao patted the back of her hand. You're my wife. You don't need to thank me. Su Qingsang shook her head and signaled him to concentrate on driving with her eyes. She lowered her head and scrolled through Weibo again. The top Weibo post had been reposted more than 50,000 times. It was accompanied by all kinds of scolding and attacks. Even the Weibo account that she had registered before, but hadn't used much, was found. The furthest Weibo post she had posted was a few months ago. At that time, he had just delivered a pregnant woman. Gu Zhao's Weibo post now had nearly 10,000 comments, all of which were scolding her. Su Qingsang had never heard so many vicious words. Her face darkened. Her forehead was throbbing, and she had a terrible headache. She didn't want to watch anymore. He put his phone away. Don't worry. You'll be fine. Su Qingsang shook her head. She wasn't as optimistic as Hu Jinyao. I think the trouble this time is not small. But it's not big. Hu Jinyao glanced at her and gave a rather pertinent suggestion. You didn't push her. Even if they're hyping up the topic like this, there's no evidence. It was just a rumor. You can ignore it. How can I ignore it? Su Qingsang frowned. What if the hospital suspends me? You know, just like last time, the power of netizens is quite scary. That's great. I won't do it then. The car had already stopped at the apartment building. Hu Jinyao parked the car and took out the key. Since they don't believe you, then I won't be a doctor. Won't be a doctor? Su Qingsang couldn't smile. If I don't be a doctor, what can I do? It's not that you don't want to be a doctor. It's that you don't want to be a doctor in Lin City. Hu Jinyao turned to look at her. His expression was unprecedentedly serious. Honey, have you ever thought about going somewhere else to develop your career? Somewhere else? What? Chapter 186. To Rong City? Su Qingsang had heard of Rong City. It was the largest city in the northern province. Yes. Hua Jinyao nodded. You should also know that I am from Rong City, and I have always wanted to take you back to Rong City. The hospital in Lin City can't keep you. But Rong City can. You want me to be a doctor in Rong City? Why not? Because of your talent. You can go anywhere. It doesn't have to be in Lin City. You can be a doctor anywhere? Why do you have to stay in Lin City? Su Qingsang understood what he meant, but she looked at the seriousness in Hua Jinyao's eyes. Suddenly, she shook her head. No, I won't go to Rong City. Honey, listen to me. Su Qingsang held his hand. What I said just now is the worst-case scenario. But the hospital may not treat me like that. Even if it is true, as long as I don't agree, they dare not do anything to me. She didn't push Li Rongrong. She had a clear conscience. I don't want to admit defeat like this. If I really leave, then even if I didn't push her, others will say that I did. Even if I have to leave Lin City and go somewhere else, I want to leave openly and with a clean record. I don't want to leave with the reputation of such a vicious doctor. That's not what I want. Her gentle and beautiful face was filled with rare determination. Her eyes were as bright as the moon. Looking at Su Qingsang, Hua Jinyao suddenly reached out to her, gently rubbed the top of her head, and said, Yes. I believe you. Do you need my help? Su Qingsang shook her head. Don't worry. I can handle it. As soon as she finished speaking, her phone rang. It was Deputy Director Li. Director Li? Su Qingsang glanced at Hua Jinyao. He was about to open the car door when he stopped to look at her. Suspended? Su Qingsang was stunned. May I ask why? She listened to Director Li's words with a sullen face. He said that there were still reporters in the hospital. Just like last time, the hospital was blocked again. But this time, it wasn't the patient's family, but a group of reporters. After the news came out on Weibo, the group of reporters kept staring at the hospital. The hospital administration had just blocked this matter, but they still had to show their attitude towards the public. I didn't push her. Su Qingsang was very calm. She was neither angry nor agitated. You can look at the surveillance cameras in the yard, or through any other methods to verify it. I really didn't push her. Dr. Su, we're all willing to believe you. But the people did not believe it, the media did not believe it, and the patients did not believe it. Right now, we need to temporarily suspend you to give the public an explanation. As for you, just bear with it a little and rest at home for a few days, okay? Dean Li, Su Qingsang wasn't willing to accept such an arrangement. I can't be suspended. Wouldn't my suspension be equivalent to my acquiescence? Then what do you want? Do you know how many reporters are outside right now? If you don't come to work now, you can also avoid the limelight. President Li, all right. Dr. Su, don't be too stubborn. Just let it be. Su Qingsang looked at the phone, which had been hung up. Hua Jinyao was looking at her with concern. Honey, I'm fine. Su Qingsang shook her head. The hospital suspended me from work and asked me to rest at home for a few days. Hua Jinyao's face darkened. Just a suspension? Chapter 187. Is there even a need to investigate? It's impossible for you to do such a thing. Thinking of Li Rongrong, Hua Jinyao's face darkened. How is that woman now? I don't know. She wasn't awake when I left. Su Qingsang smiled bitterly. She fell by herself, but she did it on purpose. This woman is not normal at all. Just ignore it. I believe that your innocence will be proven in the end. It's my fault. I clearly knew that she didn't get along with me, but I wasn't vigilant. How can you be blamed for this? You are a doctor. You definitely don't think too much about it. That was right. She's a doctor. Doctors have the heart of a parent. How could he really be indifferent to the patient's pain? You know what? When she fell, she said that she wanted to drag me down with her. I really can't imagine that she would sacrifice her own child just to harm me. Hua Jinyao frowned. He was thinking about another possibility. A few days ago, she was the most beautiful doctor on Weibo, and today, she was the most vicious doctor. There must be someone behind this. What's wrong? Su Qingsang saw the serious look on his face and was confused. Have you ever thought that she did all these things prepared? Her goal was to harm you. Have you thought about it? Su Qingsang wasn't stupid. How could she not think of that? She did it to frame me, and to frame me, she didn't even want her own child. Have you ever thought that there is someone behind Li Rongrong? What do you mean? I'm not sure now. But I don't think it's that simple. Su Qingsang saw the serious look on his face and didn't think too much about it. That's not possible, is it? I'm not a big shot, not to mention that Li Rongrong and I did have some disagreements. Though she thought nothing of the unpleasantness. Hua Jinyao was not so optimistic. His instincts as a businessman made him used to thinking deeper and further into things. Jinyao? Let's go upstairs and eat first. Hua Jinyao got out of the car first. However, there was a flash of gloominess in his eyes. No matter who it was, he would not allow anyone to touch Su Qingsang like that. If it was only Li Rongrong's scheme, he would only look for Li Rongrong. If there was someone else behind him, he wouldn't let it go just like that, no matter who it was. Hua Jinyao? Su Qingsang had already gotten out of the car. Noticing that his footsteps were a little fast, she called out to him. Hua Jinyao turned around, and the gloominess on his face was gone. Honey, don't think about it. The emperor has the most power when it comes to eating. Let's go. Su Qingsang had been a little worried at first, but now he had almost diverted her attention. No matter what would happen tomorrow, no matter what would happen, at least she still had Hua Jinyao. The next day, Su Qingsang thought for a long time and decided to go to the hospital. There were some things she needed to figure out. Even if she knew that Li Rongrong did it on purpose, she might not tell her the truth. Hua Jinyao decided to accompany her. He insisted on being with her, no matter how much she resisted. As expected, there were many reporters at the entrance of the hospital. Su Qingsang looked at the crowd and smiled bitterly in the car. I didn't know that I would become a celebrity in Lin City one day. I'm fine. Once we prove our innocence, you'll be even more famous. I don't want to be more famous. I just want to prove my innocence. Chapter 188. You will. Hua Jinyao encouraged her. Let's go in through the back door. Inside the door, a nurse she knew greeted Su Qingsang. She smiled at the nurse. Those who were willing to greet her at this time were really on her side. She went upstairs to the obstetrics and gynecology department. She knew where Li Rongrong's ward was, but she didn't expect to see reporters at the door at the end of the corridor. The nurse and the doctor were about to drive them away. Unexpectedly, Li Rongrong asked the nurse to call the reporters in. Su Qingsang glanced at Hua Jinyao. He was also looking at her. The two of them looked at each other, then walked to the ward together. The door was open. The reporters were all inside. The nurse was hired by Wei Lenin. Su Qingsang had seen her yesterday. At this moment, the nurse was helping Li Rongrong up. Her face was pale and she looked very weak. Su Qingsang looked at the half-closed door. The two of them stood behind the door and looked at the scene inside. Miss Li, are you the pregnant woman who was pushed down the stairs yesterday? Miss Li, you agreed to be interviewed by us. Are you going to respond to that incident? Miss Li, is it really like what the internet says, that you were pushed down by the most beautiful doctor? Questions were thrown out one after another. Li Rongrong looked at them and smiled weakly. Her line of sight was blocked by the reporters. She couldn't see the door. Even if she couldn't see Su Qingsang and Hua Jinyao from where they were standing. Thank you for coming here to be interviewed. I would like to tell you about what happened yesterday. Let more people know about it. Su Qingsang stood there. She could almost guess what Li Rongrong was going to say. I'm sure I'm the pregnant woman who was pushed down the stairs yesterday. Sure enough, Li Rongrong's first sentence was meaningful. I'm also very surprised that Su Qingsang would do that. Hua Jinyao's face darkened. He stepped forward and was about to walk inside. Su Qingsang held his arm and didn't let him in. Hua Jinyao glanced at her and understood what she meant. He stood there without moving. Su Qingsang? So you know that doctor? Miss Li, why did Dr. Su push you? Because... Li Rongrong said a few words and suddenly burst into tears. She was so emotional, and the reporters waited patiently for her to finish crying. Li Rongrong didn't cry for long, only a minute or two. After she stopped, she sniffed and took out a tissue to wipe her tears. She had an innocent face and looked pure and weak. Some of the male reporters present were filled with compassion. Actually, Dr. Su and I have some conflicts. Li Rongrong told her about what had happened with Wei Lenin. Of course, she told the same story. They said that Wei Lenin was pressured by his family and that Su Qingsang's family used their power to oppress him. In short, the more pitiful she was, the better, and the more domineering Su Qingsang was, the better. She didn't even need to say that Su Qingsang was bad. She just needed to point it out. These reporters and the media would come up with their own melodramatic feuds. Su Qingsang stood there with a cold face. After listening to everything, she stepped forward and was about to go in. This time, it was Hu Jinyao who stopped her. "What?" Su Qingsang said in a low voice. "She wants me to go in and reason with her." Hu Jinyao squeezed her palm. His slightly narrowed eyes were full of danger. "We're not going in now." Chapter 189. Let's go. Hu Jinyao took her hand and walked outside. "Let's go home first." Hu Jinyao? What did he want to do? "I have a better idea." Hu Jinyao's voice was soft, but it was calming. Su Qingsang glanced at him and finally decided to believe his words. "What's your idea? Didn't she accuse you of pushing her downstairs today? We don't need to confront her now. There are so many reporters inside. No matter what you say, you can only argue if you go in now." Reporters had always been eager to see the world in chaos. When the time came, it would be a mess. Then it will be a mess. Li Rongrong had nothing to do and was wasting time here. But Su Qingsang didn't. What he wanted was to hit the nail on the head. That was why she wanted to confront him. She didn't believe Qingsang. Hu Jinyao stopped and turned to look at her seriously. "Do you believe me?" Su Qingsang looked at his expression, bit her lip, and finally nodded. "I believe you." It was rare for her to believe someone. If she said that, she really believed Hu Jinyao. Hu Jinyao smiled and hugged Su Qingsang. "Qingsang, believe me. I will make her admit that everything she said today was to frame you." How could it be possible? Li Rongrong had said so much today. Could she betray him again? "Didn't you just say you believe me?" Su Qingsang nodded hesitantly. Hu Jinyao took her hand and said, "Let's go. Let's go home." "Go home?" "Yes. Let's go play today. I've always heard that there is a mountain in Lin City. The scenery is very beautiful in autumn. Don't you want to go with me?" It was just after the Mid-Autumn Festival. In late autumn, the maple leaves on the mountain should be red. It was good. But Su Qingsang glanced at her feet. "I'm wearing high heels today." "It's okay. We'll buy a pair of shoes later. I heard that the mountain is not high anyway." "It's not high. I've been there once with my classmates, but not in autumn. Speaking of which, I've never seen what autumn is like in Jingshan." "Then what are we waiting for? Let's go." Hu Jinyao left without hesitation, looking relaxed. Su Qingsang couldn't argue with him, so she followed him into the car. The two of them went nearby to buy a pair of comfortable sports shoes. Then he bought some snacks and water. Jingshan was about 10 kilometers away from Lin City. It wasn't far. The so-called mountain in this southern city was only about 1,000 meters above sea level. Because there were a few famous scenic spots on the mountain, a road was specially built halfway up the mountain in the early years. The car drove to the parking lot on the mountainside. There was a flight of stairs further up. It was time to walk by itself. Su Qingsang got out of the car first. The mountain breeze blew against her face, making her take a deep breath. So comfortable. The weather was good. It was a refreshing autumn day. The mountain breeze was neither hot nor cold. It gave people a very comfortable feeling. Hu Jinyao got out of the car and walked up to her. "Let's go. I've never been here before. You have to be my tour guide." "Sure." The comfortable environment made Su Qingsang forget about the troubles she had been having. She led the way up the stairs. Hu Jinyao picked up the snacks and water he had prepared in the bag and followed her. The stairs were very long. After walking for a while, Su Qingsang began to feel tired. Slow down. There's no hurry anyway. After the Mid-Autumn Festival, the temperature here was very suitable. Hu Jinyao walked in front of her and reached out to hold her hand. Come on. I'll hold your hand. Su Qingsang panted. Looking at Hu Jinyao's calm face, she felt a burst of jealousy. Chapter 190. She hadn't exercised for a long time, and she was exhausted. Your stamina is so weak. Hu Jinyao glanced at her and seemed to think of something. Next time, I think you should exercise more. My stamina is not bad. Your stamina is too good. Su Qingsang was out of breath again after saying a few words. Hu Jinyao couldn't help but laugh. He looked at the bench next to the steps in front of him and stopped. How about we take a break? Su Qingsang couldn't have asked for more. The two of them sat down on the bench, and Hu Jinyao handed her a bottle of water. Drink some water. Su Qingsang took it, took 2 sips, and suddenly stood up. She quickly walked up a few steps, then turned to look at Hu Jinyao. Look over there. Hu Jinyao followed. In front of him was a large area of rocks with a Danxia landform. The shape was peculiar, and the landscape was unique. I haven't been here for a long time. They had all forgotten. Halfway up the mountain was the largest Danxia landform rock in Lin City. This area was called the 5-colored Danxia. Look, isn't that color beautiful? Yes. Hu Jinyao nodded. It was indeed good. I remember there's a maple forest further up. In this season, the maple leaves should be red. That's great. Isn't it great that we're here? Yeah. Su Qingsang nodded. Because it wasn't the weekend, there were almost no tourists on the mountain. She had gotten off lightly. Su Qingsang took out her phone to take a picture. After taking pictures of the scenery, she glanced at Hu Jinyao and finally asked him to take a group photo with her. After taking only 2 pictures, the man started to play tricks again. Puff. Hu Jinyao planted a big kiss on her face. Su Qingsang blushed. She glared at him, walked past him, and continued to walk up. Scenic Mountain was not big, and there were not many scenic spots. There were only a few of them, so it was easy to walk through them. However, these scenic spots were exquisite, and the weather was good today. Su Qingsang's photos were beautiful. She was also quite satisfied. Hu Jinyao had been staring at her. Looking at the faint smile on her beautiful face, he felt a certain part of his heart soften. The two of them walked to the last scenic spot in Jingshan. It was the stone forest at the top of the mountain. This stone forest wasn't big, but it was unique. It was arranged in picturesque disorder, like a chessboard. He felt like he was in the middle of a chess game. Outside the stone forest was the highest point of Scenic Mountain. You will rise to the top and take in all the mountains. Hu Jinyao stepped forward and put his arm around her waist. I didn't know that my wife was such a talented woman. Su Qingsang couldn't stand him. I learned it in elementary school. Everyone can recite it. I don't care. My wife is the best. Su Qingsang couldn't take it anymore. She looked ahead and said, actually, compared to nature, humans are really too small. Yes. Say, life is so short. Why are some people unwilling to live a good life, look forward, and work hard to manage their own lives? Hu Jinyao knew that she was thinking about Li Rongrong again, so he turned her body to face him. Because these people are blind to the truth. They don't know what they want. Su Qingsang nodded. Yeah, some people live their whole lives without knowing what they want. Who said that? I know very well what I want. What? You. Hu Jinyao hugged her waist tightly and kissed her on the cheek. I want you. The suppressed voice was extremely pleasant to the ears, revealing a kind of languid and sexy feeling. Su Qingsang blushed. Chapter 191. Hu Jinyao wasn't joking with her. He leaned over and kissed her as if he was really going to do something to her. Su Qingsang was startled. Just as she was about to avoid his face, she heard footsteps behind her. Hu Jinyao also heard it. He let go of Su Qingsang and took a step back. The two of them turned around and looked behind them. There was more than one person coming. It was a group. Su Qingsang saw the tall man at a glance. If she remembered correctly, this man seemed to be the big brother Shi Mengwan mentioned last time. Why was he here? Hu Jingyao also saw the man and raised his eyebrows. Why was he here? Beside the man was a petite and slender woman in a wedding dress. She was obviously tired and was panting. Brother Hausa, slow down. The petite woman took a few steps and realized that Hu Jingyao and Su Qingsang were also there. She was stunned for a moment. Jean Hausa turned around and helped her up. I told them to handle the post-processing, but you insisted on doing it yourself. It's better to do it myself. Chen Feifei panted and looked away from Hu Jingyao. Only then did Su Qingsang see that there was a group of people behind the two of them. Those people were holding all kinds of photography equipment in their hands. Looking at the wedding dress on the petite woman's body, what else was there to not understand? This group of people chose the scenic spots in Jingshan to take wedding photos? They were really in a good mood. As he spoke, Jean Hausa had already walked in front of Hu Jingyao and Su Qingsang. Mr. Hua, Mr. Jean, you are in a good mood. Hu Jingyao interrupted him and reached out to shake his hand. He didn't let him call him that. You came up the mountain to take wedding photos. Jean Hausa reached out and clasped his hands. Hu Jingyao slightly exerted force. Jean Hausa narrowed his eyes and chuckled. You're welcome. Mr. Hua is in a good mood. The Hua family obviously paused. Hu Jingyao understood Jean Hausa's gaze. Yes, the weather is good today. I brought my wife out to get some fresh air. As Hu Jingyao spoke, he reached out and put his arm around Su Qingsang's waist. Hello, Mrs. Hua. Hello. Su Qingsang glanced at Hu Jingyao. Did he know this man? Qingsang, this is President Zhang. He has a partnership with our company. Brother Hausa. Chen Feifei bit her lip and looked at Jean Hausa and Su Qingsang. They are, Feifei, this is Hu Jingyao from Tianyu. Jean Hausa introduced Hu Jingyao directly. This is his wife. Hello. Chen Feifei nodded as if she had thought of something. Heaven Domain? Are you going to take wedding photos? Hu Jingyao smiled and interrupted Chen Feifei. The sun is a little bright now. I'm afraid it'll be hot. I'm fine. We'll go to the dark side to shoot. Jean Hausa's physique was comparable to Hu Jingyao's. He was tall and handsome. Now, he was looking at Hu Jingyao's face with an indecipherable gaze. Chen Feifei looked at Jean Hausa and then at Hu Jingyao. She had a feeling that she had seen this Hu Jingyao before, but she had never been involved in the business world, so she didn't recognize him. Hu Jingyao smiled and said, "If that's the case, I won't bother you anymore. We're done playing, so we'll take our leave first. Take care, Mr. Hua." Hu Jingyao nodded and walked past them with his arm around Su Qingsang's waist. Su Qingsang looked at the two of them and felt that something was wrong. Chapter 192. Seeing that she was deep in thought, Hu Jingyao moved closer to her and held her waist tightly with one hand. "Honey, are you tired after playing for so long? Let's go down the mountain for dinner." "Honey, what do you want to eat?" Hu Jingyao put his arm around her waist and looked at her with a faint smile. "Anything. Whatever is fine." Su Qingsang was indeed hungry. "How about Sichuan cuisine?" "Okay." They walked away slowly. It was a normal conversation, but it surprised Jean Hausa. He didn't expect Hu Jingyao to have such a side to him. Also, his wife didn't seem to know who he was. That was interesting. Jean Hausa still remembered how Hu Jingyao was so powerful when he was negotiating with Tianyu. The Hu Jingyao was obviously different from the one in his memory. Was he good at pretending, or was he just like that in front of Mrs. Hua? He didn't know. "Brother Hausa." Chen Feifei saw and heard it too. She turned to look at Jean Hausa with expectation in her eyes. Jean Hausa was very nice to her, but it seemed to be a little far from what she wanted. She knew that he treated her as a sister, not a couple. She knew that he married her to repay a debt of gratitude, but she really, really wanted him to treat her as a woman he loved. "What's wrong?" His gentle voice was filled with affection. He looked at her with extreme gentleness, but she wasn't in his eyes. Chen Feifei felt a little bitter. She put her arm around Jean Hausa's arm and said, "Brother Hausa, let's go take some photos." Jean Hauser nodded and let her hold his arm, but that was all. There was no more. Chen Feifei looked at his cold face, gritted her teeth, tiptoed, and kissed him on the cheek. Jean Hauser's brows furrowed imperceptibly, but he held her hand and walked forward as if nothing had happened. Su Qingsang was a little tired when she got back to the car. She sat there, thinking about that man. Hua Jinyao, are you familiar with that man? Not really, but we've worked together. Hua Jinyao glanced at her casually. What's wrong? He doesn't look simple. Honey, are you praising him? Sort of. He's handsome too. He had a good figure. It looks pretty powerful. Honey, he's not as good as me. Yes. But you just called him young Master Jean? Hua Jinyao blinked and said, it's his special hobby. He likes to be called that. Really? Su Qingsang looked at him suspiciously. Hua Jinyao leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. Honey, I'll be jealous if you pay so much attention to other men. Stop it. That was not what she wanted to ask. Do you know who the woman beside him is? She should be his fiancée. Hua Jinyao thought about the rumor. He's not an ordinary person, but it seems that the Qin family has done him a favor. So he agreed to marry Miss Qin. He had seen Chen Feifei once before. She was a sickly beauty. Anyone in the business world who knew a thing or two about the Qin family would have heard that the daughter of the Qin family was frail and sickly. However, the Qin family's family head had good foresight. He had saved Jean Hauser in the early years and trained him carefully. Now, he had become in existence like Qin Feifei's guard. Is that so? Su Qingsang thought of Shi Mengwan. Shi Mengwan had always said that Jean Hauser was her big brother. Chapter 193. Do you like him? What are you talking about? It was the first time she saw Jean Hauser. How could she like him? Then why do you keep asking about him? Hua Jinyao raised his hand and put it on her shoulder. You've never cared about me like this. Hua Jinyao, that's enough. She just asked a few more questions for Shi Mengwan. If it weren't for Shi Mengwan, she wouldn't have cared about who Jean Hauser was. Hua Jinyao looked at Su Qingsang's expression. His pestering expression faded a little. However, he was a little annoyed with Jean Hauser. That guy mentioned Tianyu on purpose. Not only in the industry, but in the whole country, who didn't know about Tianyu? Fortunately, Su Qingsang devoted herself to her profession and didn't pay attention to these things. Otherwise, how could she know nothing about it? It seemed that he had to find something for Jean Hauser to do next time, in case he talked nonsense. However, thinking that Jean Hauser was forced to get married by the Qin family, he gloated again. Are you hungry? Why don't you drive? Su Qingsang turned around and saw him smiling a little strangely. That expression made her frown. Let's go. Su Qingsang was enjoying the mountain breeze. She was so comfortable that she didn't think about where she had heard the name Tianyu before. After dinner, they went to watch a movie. When they got home, Su Qingsang was already very tired. However, her tired body felt much better after taking a shower. She couldn't fall asleep, so she took out her phone. Habitually, she opened Weibo and glanced at it. The top local trending news made her forehead twitch again. She hadn't opened Weibo for half a day and found that things were out of control again. Those reporters didn't know what was going on, so they all blamed Su Qingsang. Some even dug out Su Qingsang's identity and said that she was the illegitimate daughter of the Su family. She couldn't be shown in public, so it was no wonder that she was so cruel. This wave of insults and attacks was much more severe than yesterday's. Su Qingsang casually browsed through it and couldn't read it anymore. In the past, she only knew that there were keyboard warriors in this world. Today, she met one and understood what it felt like. As soon as Hua Jinyao entered the room, he saw her sullen face and then looked at the phone in her hand. What else could he not understand? He took a few steps forward, took her phone away and put it aside. Then, he sat down beside her. Why do you look like that? Why do you care about these trolls on the internet? Su Qingsang shook her head. He wasn't her, so how could he understand? Just some irrelevant people. How is it worth your anger? Hua Jinyao pulled her into his arms as he spoke. Don't worry. The more they scold you today, the more painful the slap in the face will be when the truth is clarified tomorrow. How can it be as easy as you say? Su Qingsang still didn't believe him. You make it sound easy. Li Rongrong, do you believe me? Hua Jinyao put his arm around her waist, insisting on an answer from her. Su Qingsang looked at him and finally nodded. I believe you. Since you trust me, then wait and be patient. They like to scold, let them scold. Curse to your heart's content. By tomorrow at the latest, the matter will be resolved. He sounded really confident. Su Qingsang was nervous, but now she could only choose to believe him. Well, I think you're just too free. As Hua Jinyao spoke, he turned over and lay on top of her. I think we need to do something else. You can divert your attention. Chapter 194. Li Rongrong went to sleep after talking nonsense in front of the reporters. Most doctors and nurses didn't believe the rumors. They had seen Hua Jinyao before. Yesterday, when Wei Lenin came, a nurse also saw him. With such an outstanding man like Hua Jinyao as a comparison, Wei Lenin looked like a scumbag. Li Rongrong wasn't afraid that the nurses didn't like her. She had a caretaker to take care of her. What were the nurses? There were reporters who came to ask about the situation, and the nurses told them the truth. But the reporters didn't write about the situation. Instead, they wrote that Su Qingsang hated Li Rongrong because she had to find someone else. They hadn't seen Hua Jinyao, but Wei Lenin was famous in Lin City. What else didn't they understand when they compared it and asked about it? If they understood it, the news would be distorted. Li Rongrong didn't even take care of her body. She started browsing Weibo and local forums after she woke up. The more people scolded Su Qingsang, the happier she was. How dare you steal my man? How dare you push me? At night, Li Rongrong asked the caretaker to buy food for her. She didn't like the food in the hospital. The caretaker left to buy dinner for Li Rongrong. Not long after she left, the door of the ward was opened. Did you buy it? I said I want to eat. Who are you? Li Rongrong was shocked to see a stranger enter her ward. She sat up and looked at the person in front of her warily. Su Qingsang was harassed by Hua Jinyao for the whole night, so she didn't have time to think about Li Rongrong. The next day, Su Qingsang felt uncomfortable all over. She criticized Hua Jinyao in her heart. This man was too much. He didn't know how to control himself. She was so weak that she was afraid that one day she would be killed by Hua Jinyao. She picked up her phone and wanted to browse Weibo, but she didn't want to see more curses. She put down her phone and it rang again. It was Shi Mengwan again. Mengwan. Su Qingsang received her call and thought of Zhan Haoze. I have something to talk to you about. You? Don't bother. I know everything. What do you know? What do you think I know? Shi Mengwan's voice was relaxed. She was so worried yesterday that she even seriously explained to Su Qingsang on Weibo. It was a pity that she was small and insignificant. There was no way she could overwhelm so many internet trolls and keyboard warriors. Now that the matter was resolved, she heaved a sigh of relief. How would I know what you know if you don't tell me? All right. Shi Mengwan was confused by the fact that she knew more. You must have known about it before me. You must have checked Weibo. What are you trying to do here? No. Su Qingsang shook her head, pressed the speaker button, and opened Weibo. I haven't checked Weibo today. That's good. I'm the first one to inform you. Su Qingsang didn't hear what Shi Mengwan said clearly. She clicked on the latest local news. Hashtag the prettiest doctor hashtag is still the prettiest doctor. There was a video on it, but she didn't have time to watch it. She glanced at the title and the following article, and the twist in the article made her eyes widen. I won't tell you now. I'll take a look first. What was going on? As she clicked on the video, she heard the door open. You're awake. Chapter 195. Li Rongrong appeared in the video. She was in the ward, and there were at least a dozen microphones facing her on the small board in front of her. She looked at the camera with a pale face, and the flash in front of her kept flashing. Miss Li, may I ask why you are holding a press conference today? Miss Li, is there anything else you haven't told us? Miss Li, Li Rongrong bit her lip, and her eyes were full of indignation. She didn't want to say what she was going to say next. But, I invited you here today because I have something to tell you. For Li Rongrong, every word was very difficult to spit out. I'm sorry, I lied yesterday. I wasn't pushed down the stairs by Dr. Su Qingsang. What? There were more than a dozen reporters who rushed into the ward, and they all looked at each other. Miss Li, can you please make it clear? Li Rongrong was very angry, but thinking that they had something on her, she had to compromise. The truth is that the child in my belly was already stillborn. As early as a week ago, I had a checkup, and another doctor said that the child had no heartbeat. They asked me to take the child out. I didn't want to. I wanted the child, but after a few days of observation, the child was still the same. The doctor said that it would be dangerous if I didn't abort it. Then I thought that if I abort the child, I might as well use it to do something. Li Rongrong's voice was getting softer and softer. It was so soft that it was almost inaudible. Su Qingsang's eyes widened, and she looked at Hu Jinyao, who had sat next to her, in shock. Hu Jinyao nodded and motioned for her to continue watching. What else needed to be said? Li Rongrong wanted to use the child to harm her, and she really succeeded. Su Qingsang turned from the most beautiful doctor to the most vicious one. She also played a big role in it. She was not short of money, so it was not difficult for her to buy the hot search results and hire a water army. The reporters were shocked. One of them sensed that something was wrong. Miss Li, as you said, you did all of this to frame Su Qingsang. Then why did you say it out loud? Su Qingsang didn't understand, not to mention the reporters. After I lied yesterday, I felt guilty. Especially after I found out that Dr. Su was suspended, I felt that my behavior was wrong. Su Qingsang's eyes widened when she heard that. How could such a thing happen? She couldn't believe that someone like Li Rongrong would say something like that. This completely refreshed her understanding of the world. How could Li Rongrong go back on her words? This was not normal. Miss Li, can I ask if someone threatened you before you changed your words? A reporter's question stunned Su Qingsang. She subconsciously glanced at Hu Jinyao. Hu Jinyao was watching the video. Noticing her gaze, he glanced at her and gestured for her to continue watching. Nope. I wasn't threatened. Su Qingsang withdrew her gaze and continued watching. Li Rongrong smiled. Through the screen, Su Qingsang couldn't see how stiff and ugly Li Rongrong's smile was. I really just found my conscience. I don't think this is good. Chapter 196. Yes. I have proof. I left a medical record when I was examined in another hospital. That can prove that what I said is true. Su Qingsang was not interested in what Li Rongrong said after that. He closed the video and scrolled up Weibo. He found that the trend on the internet had changed again. Those who had cursed the most yesterday were silent today. Those who didn't scold him yesterday had posted on Weibo today. The hashtag the most toxic doctor is a lie hashtag was pushed to the top. No one scolded her anymore. Occasionally, there would be one or two who came out to question the authenticity, but they were also slapped in the face. After all, Li Rongrong had admitted it herself. What else was there to doubt? A crisis that had almost affected Su Qingsang's career had been resolved so dramatically? Su Qingsang even had an inexplicable feeling. It was like playing house. That's it? What else? Hu Jinyao's voice rang out. Su Qingsang looked up at him. Thinking back to how he had told her not to worry yesterday, the matter had indeed been resolved today. Hu Jinyao, did he already know? Did you make these? What? You want Li Rongrong to change her mind? Hu Jinyao smiled brightly. What's wrong? Are you not happy? It wasn't a matter of whether he was happy or not, but the whole thing was too weird. Li Rongrong changed her mind just because you asked her to? It's that simple? It's that simple. What else? No, how did you do it? Didn't you hear her? What? She said that the hospital she visited before had her medical records. Is she telling the truth? Su Qingsang was stunned. She thought Li Rongrong was just saying that casually. Hu Jinyao nodded and held Su Qingsang's hand. In my opinion, even a vicious tiger won't eat its cubs. No matter how ruthless a woman, especially a mother, is, she wouldn't use her own child as a bargaining chip. Besides, Li Rongrong's baby was over 4 months old. Since she wanted to marry Wei Lenin, she could only get more benefits by giving birth to a child. It was too stupid to use a child as a tool to frame Su Qingsang. That was why he wondered if it was possible that Li Rongrong didn't want the child in the first place. Therefore, it was much easier to get someone to investigate. First, he had to find out where Li Rongrong had made the records, and then find a way to get the medical records. Of course, all of this had to have connections. Li Junxing was the new mayor of Lin City. It was only a matter of minutes for him to call and get a certificate. This was only the first step. Yesterday, his subordinate, Yang Wenchang, and a colleague from the technical team had been busy for half a day. Check Li Rongrong's records and hack into her computer. This was very simple for them. It was much easier to find Li Rongrong's computer. This woman was very scheming. Naturally, there would be some shameful things in the computer. Once he brought these to the door and stated his conditions, the rest would be much easier. Li Rongrong could refuse, but once she did, Hu Jinyao would find someone to expose the truth. That would be a completely different story. Li Rongrong was not a fool. Since things had come to this point, she knew very well that the rest was not up to her. If the other party leaked those things to the media, her reputation would be ruined. Rather than let them destroy her, it was better for her to admit her mistakes first and minimize the impact. Li Rongrong was vicious, but she knew how to adapt to the situation. Hu Jinyao knew this, so she had no choice but to stand up and admit that she had lied. How did you know? Chapter 197. Meeting Su Qingsang's suspicious gaze, Hu Jinyao touched his nose and said, "I asked someone to check it out." That easy? It's not very difficult. It was indeed that easy, but it wasn't good to say it so directly to Su Qingsang. Of course, it took some effort. For example, I used some connections and found some people. Don't worry, they are all working with the company. It's difficult, but it's okay. What he said was difficult, yet it was fine. Was it difficult or not difficult? Su Qingsang turned to look at Hu Jinyao with confusion on her face. Hu Jinyao, are you hiding something from me? What can I hide from you? You should ask yourself that. What can you hide from me? Honey. Hu Jinyao put his arms around her waist and kissed her on the cheek. Look, you've been cleared of the crime. I believe the doctor will let you go back to work soon. These are all good things. Shouldn't we celebrate? Su Qingsang didn't think there was anything to celebrate. Think of it as a celebration. Hu Jinyao held her and lay on the bed. How about 300 rounds to celebrate? Hu Jinyao. Su Qingsang's doubts were diverted by him. 300 rounds? Did he want to cripple her waist? Then let's do 100 rounds. Not even 1 round. Su Qingsang pushed him. Get up. I want to get up. Honey, don't get up. You don't go to work anyway. Hu Jinyao, are you going to move? You? Her phone rang. Su Qingsang pushed him away and quickly picked up the phone. Hello, Brother Zhua? It's me. Yes, go ahead. As soon as the words Brother Zhua came out, Hu Jinyao's mouth twitched. He resisted the urge to grab the phone and throw it away. He hated this kind of brother and sister the most. He put his arms around Su Qingsang's waist and turned to look at him with a warning look. He didn't know what the other side said, but a faint smile appeared on her face. Hu Jinyao leaned over and gently bit her cheek. Su Qingsang glared at Hu Jinyao. The look in her eyes was so cold that it seemed as if she wanted to kill someone. Hu Jinyao didn't let her go. He gave her another kiss on the other cheek. Although it was light, Su Qingsang was still frightened. She was afraid that Zhua Hongchen would hear her. That would be awkward. She glared at him warningly before continuing. Back to work? Okay, I got it. Tomorrow? I will. Don't worry, I'm not mad. Hu Jinyao stopped kissing her and put his arms around her waist instead. However, his hands were not well behaved, moving up and down. Su Qingsang realized how emotional she was. She cleared her throat and said, I understand. There was no need for that. There was really no need. I'll come to work on time tomorrow. She pinched Hu Jinyao's hand. His muscles were firm and it was difficult to twist them. If she didn't have to talk, she would have bitten him. Thank you, Senior Brother Zhua. Goodbye. Su Qingsang tossed the phone aside, grabbed his hand, and took a bite. It didn't hurt much, but it made her teeth ache. She let go of him and sat up straight. Hua Jinyao, can you not touch me when I'm on the phone next time? Hua Jinyao leaned over and gave her another kiss on the cheek. A mischievous look flashed across his eyes. I touched my wife. How did it become touching me? Su Qingsang looked at him like a rascal and almost lost her temper. Forget it. Why should she care about him? She pushed him away and wanted to get up. Chapter 198. Hua Jinyao smiled and sat her down on his lap. He leaned over and kissed her on both cheeks. Honey, where are you going? He asked. You're not going anywhere. Get up and have breakfast. She was hungry after such a long time. You're going back to work? Yes. You're going back to work just like that? Going back so easily? Wasn't it too easy for the hospital? What else can I do? Your hospital didn't even investigate before convicting you. Do you still want to go back to work so easily? You have to ask your director to invite you in person and visit him 3 times before you go back with him, Hua Jinyao said seriously. Su Qingsang pushed him away without hesitation. Stop it. She wasn't an expert. Visit him 3 times? Wasn't he afraid that she would be fired? I'm really not joking. Hua Jinyao stood up and stood beside her. Think about it. When did your hospital stand on your side when the pregnant woman jumped off the building and this time? Not even once. Hua Jinyao held her in his arms. His voice was soft but firm. I'm not against you going back to work, and I'm not against you becoming a doctor. But your hospital is really bad. Every time something happens, you push the doctors out first. You don't want to solve the problem but only want to get rid of the doctors. What's the point of working in a place like this? Then what do you want? Su Qingsang didn't know that it was the hospital's fault. But that was how things were now. Look at those hospitals that had accidents. Which one of them did not push the doctors out as soon as the hospital was in trouble? After all, the other departments of the hospital had to operate. She could understand, but Hua Jinyao's words did make her feel a little disappointed. I want you to go back to Rong City with me. Su Qingsang was stunned and looked at Hua Jinyao. Back to Rong City? Yes, back to Rong City. Hua Jinyao put his hands on her shoulders. I mentioned this to you before. You said you didn't want to go until you proved your innocence. Now that you've proven your innocence, you can leave the hospital and go to Rong City with me. Su Qingsang was silent. Her innocence had been proven. She didn't push Li Rongrong. Her medical record was clean and she could go wherever she wanted. Honey, what do you think? Hua Jinyao looked expectant, but Su Qingsang was a little hesitant. I need to think about it. What else do you want? Hua Jinyao tried to persuade her. Since you and I are married, we are one. Shouldn't you come with me when I go back to Rong City? Su Qingsang understood everything he said, but following a man to another city, a city in the north that was completely different from Lin City. Let me think about it. All right. There was no hurry. I'll wait for you to think it through. Hua Jinyao didn't want to put more pressure on her. But I also hope that you won't take too long to think about it. Su Qingsang nodded. Given the current situation, even if she wanted to think about it for a long time, it wouldn't work. She went to the bathroom to wash up. Just as she squeezed out the toothpaste, Hua Jinyao came in again. And Li Rongrong, have you decided what to do with her? Li Rongrong? Su Qingsang was confused and stopped brushing her teeth. What do you mean? She slandered you and almost got you suspended. Don't you want to take revenge on her? Chapter 199. Su Qingsang frowned. After brushing her teeth, she put the toothbrush aside and said, didn't she already admit it? If so, her reputation will be ruined. Let's forget about it. It was not that she was soft-hearted, nor was she a saint. She just didn't want to waste time on these things. Hua Jinyao was not surprised at her answer at all. This time, she was so soft-hearted because it was solved in time. Li Rongrong's state at that time was that she couldn't wait to kill Su Qingsang. How could he allow such a thing to happen? This time, he was lucky. His people found some good things in Li Rongrong's computer. But what if there was nothing in Li Rongrong's computer that could threaten her? What if Li Rongrong was not afraid of losing her reputation and tried to drag Su Qingsang down with her? She would be punished, but Su Qingsang would not be able to get away easily. Hu Jinyao. Su Qingsang had finished washing her face. Seeing that he was in a daze, she took 2 steps forward. What's wrong? Nothing. Let's go. Let's eat. Su Qingsang was soft-hearted and reluctant to do it, but he wouldn't. He had to teach Li Rongrong a lesson. Not only her, but also the person who bought the trending topic. It was not Li Rongrong who made Su Qingsang the most beautiful doctor. If it weren't for the headline, Li Rongrong wouldn't have been so angry that she wanted to bite Su Qingsang. After dinner, Su Qingsang didn't have to go to work today, so she decided to visit Shi Mengwan. Shi Mengwan was very worried about what had happened these few times. She cherished Shi Mengwan as a friend very much. Although she had called her, she still wanted to see her. Shi Mengwan was a little famous in the wedding dress industry. Many famous brands had asked her to order wedding dresses. She was also very busy on weekdays. Most of the time, she was busy in the wedding dress shop. Su Qingsang took some small cakes and snacks and went to the milk tea shop to buy tea. The shop assistants in Shi Mengwan's shop all knew her. They took the snacks from her, thanked her 1 or 2, and went to have afternoon tea. Su Qingsang went straight to Shi Mengwan's workshop to find her. Her wedding dress shop was very big, and the workshop was on the 2nd floor. She went upstairs and entered the door. Shi Mengwan was sewing the edges of a wedding dress. What? Qingsang, why are you here? Shi Mengwan was happy to see her. Wait a minute, I'll be done in a moment. I just need a few more stitches. I'm fine. I'll wait for you. Su Qingsang took a few steps forward and looked at Shi Mengwan's wedding dress. It was inlaid with many diamonds and pearls. Shi Mengwan matched it well. The entire wedding dress was gorgeous and grand. Elegant but not ostentatious. So beautiful. Yes, this is my proudest work in recent times. When Shi Mengwan was inserting the needle, she didn't forget to look at Su Qingsang proudly. Speaking of which, the owner of this wedding dress is related to you. Follow me? Yes. Your sister, Su Peijian, made the decision. Su Qingsang frowned. She thought of what Su Yusen had told her on the phone. You mean, this wedding dress belongs to Su Peijian? Wasn't the engagement between Su Peijian and Qiu Yanbo cancelled? Didn't they come here to cancel the order? When Shi Mengwan thought of Su Peijian, the corners of her mouth curled up. Only she has so many requirements. Diamonds and pearls. Fortunately, my skills are good. After the matching, it doesn't look tacky and weird. Yes. Who doesn't know that your skills are good? Chapter 200. Yes. He said it would be in a few days, but he hasn't come yet. He probably wouldn't come. Su Qingsang thought of something, and her expression changed. What's wrong? Shi Mengwan put away the needles. The final process was completed. She looked at the wedding dress and felt that it was perfect. She washed her hands and found Su Qingsang in a daze. What happened to you? You don't look good. I'm thinking that you probably won't need this wedding dress anymore. Why? My sister, Su Peijian, seems to have cancelled the engagement with Qiu Yanbo. Since they won't get married, they won't come to get this wedding dress. Really? Shi Mengwan also knew about the Su family. Although her family couldn't compare with the Su and Li families, they were still a small family. How could it be cancelled? Such a well-matched marriage has been arranged for several years. How could it be cancelled just like that? She suddenly approached Su Qingsang with a face full of gossip. Could it be that Qiu Yanbo cheated on her? Fortunately, Shi Mengwan was beautiful. Otherwise, if someone else made such an expression, it would definitely be very wretched. I don't think so. At most, he had a change of heart. No way? Really? Su Qingsang didn't know why Qiu Yanbo suddenly wanted to cancel the engagement with Su Peijian. Look at you, you must know the inside story. Tell me quickly. Shi Mengwan hooked her arm, looking as if she wanted her to quickly satisfy her curiosity. Su Qingsang was speechless. Why are you so curious? Of course I'm curious. Shi Mengwan raised her eyebrows. Your sister always seems to have eyes on the top of her head. She doesn't like anyone and wants to stab them when she sees them. I really want to know who on earth could take away your brother-in-law's heart under the nose of someone like her. Su Qingsang didn't know what to say. She's not as exaggerated as you said. More exaggerated than I said. Shi Mengwan shook her arm. Tell me, do you know the inside story? What do I know? I only know that Qiu Yanba seems to like someone else. It wasn't like, it was the truth. But Su Qingsang couldn't say it. This kind of thing was really embarrassing. Heavens! Do you know who it is? Su Qingsang. Two voices rang out at the same time. Su Qingsang was startled by the sudden sound. He turned around and realized that Su Peijian had arrived without him noticing. She glared at her, and the resentment on her face was hard to hide. What did you say? When Su Qingsang saw her, she cursed in her heart. Talking behind someone's back and being caught red-handed was indeed a little embarrassing. Sis. Don't call me sister. I don't have a sister like you. Su Peijian was also acting on a whim today. Although her marriage with Qiu Yanba had fallen through, she still couldn't bear to part with him. It was one thing for them to be well-matched in terms of social status. She was also sincere to Qiu Yanba. Since they couldn't get married, they could just take the wedding dress and keep it as a souvenir. But who would have thought that she would hear such news? You said that Qiu Yanba has a woman he likes outside? Previously, she kept saying that they were not suitable and that there were no feelings between them. Su Peijian thought that Qiu Yanba was tired of being with her every day. But she didn't know that there was an inside story. She stood in front of Su Qingsang angrily. At this moment, Su Peijian hated her too. Chapter 201. Laughing at Su Peijian? Why would she say that? I didn't. Su Qingsang shook her head and looked calm. Even if she didn't have a sisterly relationship with Su Peijian, she wouldn't think of laughing at her. You didn't? You didn't. You just said that you knew Yanba had a change of heart? Su Peijian's face darkened. She was sure that Su Qingsang didn't say it on purpose. She was the last one to know that her man had a change of heart? Was there anything more ridiculous than this? Su Qingsang had nothing to say. Think what you want. I did know it by accident. Accident? Su Peijian nodded. Her expression was a bit fierce. Since it was an accident, why don't you tell me who that woman is? I don't know. Su Qingsang answered very quickly. Only Shi Mengwan, who knew her very well, could see the difference from her accidentally moving fingers. She looked at Su Qingsang with some gossip. Her best friend was good enough. Not only did she know about Qiu Yanba's affair, but she also knew who the woman was. You don't know? Su Peijian didn't believe it at all. If you really don't know, then how did you know that Yanba had a change of heart? You obviously know the person. Did you not tell me on purpose? No. Su Qingsang didn't want to answer this question. Sister, I really don't know. Good, very good. Su Peijian nodded. You don't know who it is, but you know he had a change of heart? Su Qingsang had nothing to say. Su Peijian wouldn't let it go like this. You knew he had a change of heart, but you didn't tell me? Su Qingsang, is this how a sister should be? Su Qingsang was a bit speechless. Would you believe me if I told you? Then how do you know I won't believe you if you don't tell me? Who would you believe? Would you believe me? Or Qiu Yanba? Su Qingsang didn't want to get involved in this mess at all. Sister, can you be reasonable? She didn't do anything back then, but Su Peijian already thought that she coveted Qiu Yanba. How dare she say those things in front of her now? Su Peijian didn't say anything. She stared at Su Qingsang with hatred and finally nodded heavily. Su Qingsang, you're good. Shi Mengwan watched Su Peijian leave angrily and turned to face Su Qingsang. Qingsang, aren't you good? Su Qingsang was having a headache, so she didn't want to talk about it. Alright, don't talk about it. Don't. My gossipy heart has been ignited by you. Tell me, who is the woman who made Qiu Yanba abandon the eldest daughter of the Su family? Su Qingsang pulled her hand away and looked helpless. 5 minutes later, after hearing the whole story, Shi Mengwan's eyes widened. Oh my god, Qing are you serious? You even managed to deal with the Cho family's young master? Shoo, keep your voice down. Su Qing wanted to cover her mouth. You want everyone to know, don't you? Don't worry, someone will come here for the time being. Shi Mengwan looked like she had never expected this. I really didn't expect you to have such charm. I'd rather not. Shi Mengwan looked at her and nodded slightly. That's true. It's considered a rotten peach blossom. She suddenly sat up straight and looked at Su Qing with concern. Qing, I think you should be more careful. Miss Su is not someone to be trifled with. She's still so angry even though she doesn't know about you and Qiu Yanba. What if she finds out? Chapter 202. What's wrong? Hu Jinyao noticed something was wrong with Su Qing when he got home. Honey, what happened? Nothing. Su Qing didn't know what to say. She couldn't help but look at Hu Jinyao. She didn't look like she was fine. Hu Jinyao stretched out his hand and pulled the corners of her mouth. Nothing. You don't even smile? Didn't you go to play with your good friend today? What's wrong? Didn't you have fun? Su Qing shook her head and looked at Hu Jinyao. Finally, she told him what had happened. She didn't know when she had gotten used to confiding in him. She had always been used to solving problems by herself. She didn't know when Hu Jinyao started to make her feel at ease. She could start to trust him. At least, she was willing to believe that he wouldn't hurt her or hurt her. Hu Jinyao's expression didn't change. What's there to worry about? You didn't instigate Qiu Yanba to break off the engagement. That's true, but no buts. Hu Jinyao took her hand and put it in his palm. He put his other hand around her shoulder. Qiu Yanba is an adult. He needs to learn to be responsible for his own choices. He wanted to break off the engagement. He didn't want her. Even if Su Peijian found out and came to you to settle the score, what's the reason? Su Qing had nothing to say. Hu Jinyao turned her face to look at him with an extremely serious expression. Honey, even if she wants to pester you endlessly, it's fine. But Qiu Yanba said he likes you, but he brought you so much trouble. Don't you think that these problems need to be solved by him? He was right. Su Qing followed Hu Jinyao's train of thought and couldn't help but nod. So, Su Peijian isn't your trouble. She's Qiu Yanba's trouble. If Qiu Yanba has a change of heart, even without you, there will be someone else. If that's the case, what's there to worry about? Su Qing was silent. She looked at Hu Jinyao's handsome face for a while and finally said, Hu Jinyao, I found that you're really good at talking. He had a way of persuading people. And she couldn't refute it. You're good at talking? Hu Jinyao kissed her on the cheek as he spoke. I think so too. No, I think I'm better at talking. Don't you agree? As he spoke, his gaze swept over a certain part of her body. Su Qing couldn't stand it anymore. She crossed her arms in front of her chest. Where are you looking? Look wherever you want. Hu Jinyao pulled her hand away and moved closer to her again. Honey, tonight, I'll let you have a taste of my eloquence. Stop it. Su Qing pushed him away. I'm hungry. Let's eat. Sister Lu had already prepared dinner and left earlier. The food was still warm and ready to eat. Su Qing couldn't take it anymore. The two of them sat down at the dining table, one after the other. Hu Jinyao scooped a bowl of soup for Su Qing and placed it in front of her. Chapter 203. That's one aspect. Hu Jinyao gestured for her to continue drinking the soup. You have to show the hospital their attitude. You're not someone they can fire or suspend at will. Su Qing was his wife. It would be strange if he wasn't angry at the hospital's attitude. And then, secondly, aren't you annoyed with Su Peijian? Since she knows that you know about Qiu Yanba, she will definitely come looking for you. Even if she can't do anything to you, she's angry right now. Don't you think avoiding her is a good choice? He wasn't afraid of Su Peijian, but he really wanted Su Qing to accompany him to Rong City. It wasn't like Su Peijian didn't know where she lived. Where could she hide? Come to Rong City with me. Hu Jinyao looked serious. We're going to have fun for a few days. On one hand, we can avoid Su-Pasian. On one hand, it'll let the hospital know that you're not a pushover. Su Chingsang resisted the urge to roll her eyes. Who could bully her? It was understandable for the hospital to handle it this way. But thinking about it, going to Rong City with Hua Jinyao didn't seem so unacceptable. Just for a few days? Just a few days? Hua Jinyao nodded and held her hand. It's all up to you. If you don't like staying there, or if you don't like it, we'll come back right away. Su Chingsang lowered her head and concentrated on drinking the soup. She began to think about what Hua Jinyao had said. Su-Pasian would definitely come looking for her again. Although she had a clear conscience, she really didn't want to argue with her over Qiu Yanba. Going to Rong City for a few days wasn't a bad idea. She suddenly looked up at Hua Jinyao and asked, "Do you have something to do in Rong City?" Hua Jinyao smiled and leaned over to kiss her on the cheek. "That's why people say that my wife is smart. It's just a small matter." Su Chingsang almost spilled the soup in her hand. "What is it? Are you sure you can solve it in just a few days?" "Sure. It's just a contract." He made it sound simple, so Su Chingsang didn't think too much about it. Recently, there were a lot of messy things happening around her. Thinking about it, going out to play for a few days was not a big deal. Su Chingsang was still a little tired when she boarded the plane. She yawned and wanted to sleep as soon as she sat down. Hua Jinyao very considerately picked up the blanket and covered her body. "The flight will take more than 2 hours. If you're tired, you can take a nap on the plane." Su Chingsang glared at him. Who was responsible for her tiredness? Who made her so tired? This guy. She had only agreed to come to Rong City yesterday, but tonight, he kept asking for her as if he had taken stimulants. She didn't want to admit that she had poor stamina. She could only blame him for having too much stamina. She closed her eyes to sleep. She was really sleepy. He slept until he got off the plane. After resting for a while, his body finally recovered some strength. When she got off the plane, the cold air made her shiver. "Here, put on your coat." Hua Jinyao was prepared. He took out a thick woolen coat early in the morning. Su Chingsang was wrapped in the coat and felt the coldness dissipate a lot. She lowered her head to take a look. The dress didn't seem to be from her wardrobe. Where did the clothes come from? "I bought it." Hua Jinyao straightened her clothes and said with a gentle expression, "Rong City is not like Lin City. It's already very cold here. Are you cold? Do you want to buy a down jacket?" "No need." She wasn't that afraid of the cold. "Let's go." "Okay." Hua Jinyao held her hand and walked outside, but they hadn't left the airport yet. They met an acquaintance. Chapter 204. The man looked to be in his early 40s. He was dressed in Armani and looked very flamboyant. He was a little chubby and panted a little when he ran over. There were 3 or 4 people behind him, and they were all following behind him. Armani didn't care about the others. He just looked at Hua Jinyao and reached out his hand. Mr. Hua, I didn't expect to see you here. What a coincidence." Hua Jinyao frowned and glanced at Su Chingsang from the corner of his eye. He had to reach out and shake hands with the other party. "Mr. Hua, did you just come back from a business trip?" The middle-aged chubby man was smart. "I just came back." Mr. Hua is really busy every day. People like us can't compare at all. Hua Jinyao didn't reply. The man continued, "Thank you for thinking so highly of the contract last time. Don't worry, we will do a good job. Mr. Hua, if you have such an opportunity next time, please help us. I can't thank you enough." "Mr. Lin, you're welcome. You're also very capable. It's a small business. It's a small business. It can't compare to your Tianyu Group. You can easily have projects worth billions or even tens of billions." Su Chingsang turned to look at Hua Jinyao. This was the second time she heard the words, Tianyu Group. Mr. Lin seemed to have just noticed Su Chingsang, and his eyes lit up. This is my wife." "Hello, Mrs. Hua." Mr. Lin reached out to shake Su Chingsang's hand. Su Chingsang politely reached out and smiled at him. "Mrs. Hua is so beautiful and elegant. You and Mr. Hua are really a good match." CEO Lin's praises seemed to come out of his mouth like they were free. Su Qingsang felt a little uncomfortable listening to them. So did Hu Jinyao. Mr. Chu, I still have something to do here. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Mr. Hua, you're busy. I'll take my leave first. Mr. Lin took 2 steps back and stopped. If there's a chance next time, I'll treat you and Mrs. Hua to a meal. Mr. Hua, you must do me the honor. Hu Jinyao didn't say anything else. Mr. Lin waved his hand and said a lot of good things before leaving. Hu Jinyao turned his face and met Su Qingsang's probing gaze. Mr. Hua? Yes? Honey, actually I can explain. Hu Jinyao raised his hand. Su Qingsang nodded and said, It's okay. You have time to explain. Honey, what do you think about this? Shall we go home first? Go home? Which home? She knew that he was from Rong City, so it was not surprising that he had a family in Rong City. You'll know when you get there. I'll explain to you when we get there. Hu Jinyao smiled ingratiatingly. Su Qingsang gave him a meaningful look and followed him out of the airport. Someone had already come to pick them up. The man took the luggage and put it in the car, then went around to open the door for them. Finally, he returned to the car and started driving. He was well-trained and didn't speak much. It was obvious that he wasn't an ordinary driver. Su Qingsang couldn't help but look at Hu Jinyao again. The airport wasn't close to the Hua mansion. Su Qingsang had rested on the plane, so she didn't feel like sleeping. She looked out the window at the scenery that was completely different from Lin City. Although it was already late autumn in Lin City, the weather was still relatively hot. Many people on the road were still wearing short-sleeved shirts. But the weather here was so bad that he had to wear a thick coat. The buildings, the weather, even the blue sky above was different. Chapter 205. Seeing that Su Qingsang was looking outside from time to time, he leaned over and introduced it to her. That's the largest central square in Rong City. Next to it is the largest department store in Rong City. Tianyu Group was involved in both of them. Many famous buildings in this city were built by Tianyu Group. Su Qingsang didn't say anything. The car drove away from the city center and gradually slowed down. Su Qingsang poked her head out to take a look. There were almost no people on both sides of the road. The car drove into a carved gate. They drove forward for a while before stopping. The driver got out of the car first and opened the door for them. Before Su Qingsang got out of the car, she was shocked by the building in front of her. It was completely in the style of a European castle from the last century. It was about 5 or 6 stories and looked like a Byzantine house. She stood at the door and looked at it. She could see a row of medium-sized fountains, extending from the main building to the entrance in the distance. On both sides were huge Roman columns with lifelike sculptures that looked like the work of a master. On both sides were European-style columns with all kinds of flowers and plants. On both sides were large green lawns. Su Qingsang subconsciously turned her face to look at Hu Jinyao. He was smiling brightly at her. Honey, we're here. Let's go in. Su Qingsang didn't move. She stood there and looked at Hu Jinyao. Is this your home? Hu Jinyao cleared his throat and nodded slightly. Su Qingsang felt her forehead twitch. Are you very rich? Not really. Hu Jinyao seemed to sense Su Qingsang's worry and quickly explained, My family is rich. I'm not very rich. He only had tens of billions of yuan under his name. He shouldn't be very rich. He wasn't lying. Su Qingsang didn't want to talk. She knew very well that his not being rich was not the same as hers being poor. What will you do if I don't want to go in? Honey. Hu Jinyao stepped forward and held her hand. Don't be like this. After all, you're already married to me. If you don't come in, do you want to stay in a hotel? That's not impossible. Of course not. Hu Jinyao put his arm around her waist. Hey, honey, what if you're angry? You can beat me up when we get in. Let's go in first. My grandfather knew you were coming and has been waiting for a long time. It would have been better if he hadn't mentioned it. Once he did, Su Qingsang was even more displeased. Hu Jinyao, you didn't tell me that you wanted to see your family. I didn't even prepare a gift. It's fine. I'm ready. Hu Jinyao quickly said, Honey, I'm ready. Don't be angry, okay? Seeing him like this, Su Chingsang couldn't get angry. The chauffeur who came to pick them up unloaded all the things in the car and brought them over. Mr. Hua, he had prepared many gifts for the elders. He looked at Su Chingsang and said, "Honey, let's go in." She was already standing at the door, so Su Chingsang didn't seem to have a choice. He followed Hua Jinyao into the house. In the living room, the Hua family members, who had known about his return, were waiting for him. However, Hua Jinyao didn't expect everyone to be here. Grandfather Hua Yangping. His parents were Hua Mingguang and Lu Tongjia. His uncle Hua Mingliang, his two cousins Hua Yifan and Hua Ying, and his cousin Hua Manzi. Auntie Hua Mingmei and Uncle Wei Nantian. And his aunt's two children, Wei Sihai and Wei Simi. The whole family sat around the sofa. Chapter 206. She couldn't help but turn to look at Hua Jinyao. Old Master Hua had just seen Hua Jinyao walk through the door. "Jinyao, you're back." Old Master Hua reached out his hand. "Come here." Hua Jinyao walked forward with the bags in one hand. He held Su Chingsang's hand with one hand. "Grandpa, I'm back." "You still know to come back?" Although he was happy about his grandson's return, the old man was not polite with his words. "I thought you forgot the way home." "How could that be?" Hua Jinyao was used to saying a few words every time he went out. Su Chingsang stood there, feeling at a loss for what to do for the first time. She could tell from the door that Hua Jinyao's family wasn't simple, but she didn't expect him to have so many family members. Would she have to live and interact with such a big family in the future? "Grandpa, I just wanted to bring my wife over to show you." While speaking, Hua Jinyao pushed Su Chingsang to the front and looked at Old Master Hua. "Grandpa, this is Su Chingsang, my wife. Chingsang, this is my grandfather." "Hello, Grandpa." Su Chingsang was a little reserved. She didn't have much experience with elders. The elders in her family didn't like her very much, so it was impossible for her to get close to them. Su Chingsang was a little scared to see an old man as dignified as Old Master Hua. "All right." Old Master Hua nodded and looked at Su Chingsang. It seemed like a good idea. "I heard from Jinyao. Are you a doctor?" "Yes." Su Chingsang stood there with her back straight. "I just graduated from my medical postgraduate program not long ago." "Not bad, not bad." Old Master Hua was very satisfied, but Hua Mingguang and Lu Tongjia, who were sitting in the middle, didn't look happy. Hua Mingliang and his family were watching the show. As for Hua Mingmei's family, they did not have much power in the heaven domain, and they only received some dividends every year. However, Hua Mingmei had never liked Lu Tongjia, who was a proud sister-in-law. She was happy to see someone make trouble for her. "It must be tough being a doctor, right? I've heard Hua Jinyao talk about it a few times. It hasn't been easy for you. Fortunately, it's not very tiring. Compared to the Department of Surgery and the Emergency Department, the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology was much better. You still have to take care of your body. You're still young, so don't take it lightly." "Thank you for your concern, Grandpa. I will." Su Chingsang really didn't have any experience in getting along with the elderly. She only answered Old Master Hua's questions. However, Old Master Hua was unexpectedly easy to talk to. This made her feel a lot more at ease, even though she was still a little uneasy. Hua Jinyao gave the gift he had prepared in advance to Old Master Hua. "Grandpa, this is the gift Chingsang prepared for you. It's good that you're here. There's no need to give gifts. We're family, there's no need to be so polite." Although he said that, Old Master Hua was still very happy. Hua Jinyao handed the gifts to Hua Mingguang and Lu Tongjia. "Dad, Mom, this is the present Chingsang bought for you. Chingsang, these are my parents." She didn't know if it was an illusion, but when Hua Jinyao introduced his parents, he didn't seem as easygoing and friendly as when he introduced Old Master Hua. However, Su Chingsang still greeted him politely. Lu Tongjia had no intention of taking it. She sat there and glanced at Su Chingsang's face coldly. Chapter 207. Su Chingsang's expression froze, and the atmosphere in the living room suddenly became eerily quiet. No one expected Lu Tongjia to react like this, let alone Su Qingsang and Hua Jinyao. Tongjia. Old Master Hua glanced at Lu Tongjia. What are you doing? Dad, am I doing this? Lu Tongjia didn't admit it. He said that he wanted to get married without our parents' permission. He knew that the Hua family was engaged to the Su family, but he insisted on marrying this woman who came from nowhere. Why am I doing this now? Su Qingsang glanced at Hua Jinyao. She was angry at him for lying to her and hiding his identity. She didn't have time to lose her temper when she suddenly saw such a big family. How could she be despised by others first? Hua Jinyao didn't look happy either. He stood in front of Su Qingsang with a cold face. His dark eyes were especially bright at this moment. He stared at Lu Tongjia and said, Qingsang is not a woman who came from nowhere. She is my wife now. Hua Yifan and Huiyang sat there and watched the show. The two brothers looked at each other and seemed to be very happy about the argument between Hua Jinyao and Lu Tongjia. What's with your attitude? Did I agree to you two being together? Lu Tongjia raised her voice, but Hua Jinyao didn't give in. I don't need your permission. I'm your mother. You're my mother. Then what? I want you to divorce this woman immediately and marry Ruoli. Nonsense. Old Master Hua couldn't bear it anymore. Tongjia, you're not calm now. Talk to me when you calm down. Dad, I'm very calm. Lu Tongjia wanted to say something but was defeated by Old Master Hua's gaze. She had to sit back down, but she didn't like the way she looked at Hua Jinyao and Su Qingsang. Hua Jinyao ignored her and introduced Hua Mingguang. Hua Mingguang wasn't very happy either, but he was a man who had been in the business world for a long time. He nodded as a greeting. He accepted the gift from Hua Jinyao and put it on the coffee table without touching it. This is my uncle. Nice to meet you, uncle. These are my cousins, Hua Yifan and Huiyang. Hello. This is my aunt and uncle. This is my cousin Wei Sihai and my cousin Wei Simin. Hello. After introducing everyone, Hua Jinyao presented the gifts one by one. Su Qingsang looked at him and felt that he was really polite. He had been like this when he went to her house. Now that she had come to his house, although he didn't tell her in advance, such preparations still touched her a little. After the introduction, Hua Jinyao held Su Qingsang's hand and was about to go upstairs. Lu Tongjia couldn't take it anymore. Hua Jinyao, don't be so stubborn. Willful? How am I being willful? Hua Jinyao raised his eyebrows in confusion. Lu Tongjia was furious. I told you, I don't agree to your marriage. I want you to divorce this woman, you hear me, aunt. Su Qingsang spoke abruptly. Everyone was looking at her, and she was looking at Lu Tongjia. Sorry, my name is Su Qingsang. Su as in Su Dongpa, Qing as in green grass, Sang as in mulberry leaves. I am not that woman. She emphasized the word, woman, when she said, woman. Chapter 208. Hua Jinyao rarely saw Lu Tongjia being humiliated. He was proud, but he didn't laugh. It was hard for him to hold back his laughter. Su Qingsang wasn't afraid of his stare. I'm sorry. I'm married to Hua Jinyao. It's not about whether you agree or not. We're already together. What do you mean? Lu Tongjia's voice was sharp. Su Qingsang cleared her throat and said, I don't mean anything. I just want to tell you that you want Hua Jinyao to divorce me. Have you ever thought about how Hua Jinyao will divorce me if I don't agree? Hua Jinyao almost applauded for Su Qingsang. She was indeed the woman he liked. Lu Tongjia became angrier when she saw the expression on her son's face. I've seen many women like you. All you want is money. Just tell me how much you want. Tongjia. Old Master Hua couldn't bear it anymore. However, Su Qingsang smiled. She looked at Lu Tongjia and found it funny. Auntie, you seem to have misunderstood something. Speaking of which, Hua Jinyao lived in my house and drove my car in Lin City. I didn't know who he was at that time. In other words, she didn't do it for money. Wei Sihai wanted to clap his hands for his cousin. The young master of the Hua family lived in a woman's house and drove a woman's car? Teske, what a promising young man. Nonsense. Lu Tongjia couldn't bear it anymore. Do you know how much Hua Jinyao is worth? He needs to live in your house? That's a joke. You can ask your own son whether it's a joke or not. Su Qingsang turned to look at Hua Jinyao and quickly looked away. I don't care how much Hua Jinyao is worth. I don't need you to believe it. After all, you're not anyone to me yet. As for me and Hua Jinyao, I'm sorry. I don't like him keeping such an important thing from me. I'm not tired of him yet. So if you want me to divorce him, that's impossible. It was the first time that Hua Jinyao had seen Su Qingsang's eloquence. He almost wanted to step forward, put his arm around Su Qingsang's shoulder, and give her a big kiss on the cheek. The smug look on her face was really annoying. Lu Tongjia almost lost control of herself again. Hua Jinyao knew when to stop. He reached out to hold Su Qingsang's hand. Grandpa det. Qingsang must be tired. I'll take her upstairs to rest. Grandpa, excuse me for a moment. Su Qingsang could tell that among all the people there, only Old Master Hua really wanted her to come. As for the others, forget it. After greeting Old Master Hua, the two of them went upstairs together. Dad, look at them. What kind of attitude is that? Lu Tongjia was not satisfied with her daughter-in-law, nor was she satisfied with her son. All right. Old Master Hua still didn't know about her. Everyone is here today. Don't mention those disappointing things. But if you still recognize me as an old man, then some things will end here. Don't talk about it anymore. Chapter 209. Seeing the change in her expression, Hua Jinyao took her hand and went upstairs. Come, let's go upstairs and have a look. Su Qingsang stood still on the stairs and looked at Hua Jinyao. I think I should leave now. Don't. Honey, you can't leave. Holding Su Qingsang's hand, Hua Jinyao said with a roguish smile. If you leave, where can I find such a good wife? What a glib tongue. Don't try that on me. It's useless. Honey, look at you. I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. Why don't you believe me? Su Qingsang didn't even look at him. Seeing that she didn't move, Hua Jinyao quickly took her hand and led her upstairs. I live on the 3rd floor. There's an elevator in the corner on the other side, but I like to take the stairs. The house had a total of 6.5 floors. On the 1st floor, there was a living room, dining room, kitchen, banquet room, multi-purpose room, and gym. The 2nd floor is my grandfather's room and our study room. I lived on the 3rd floor, and there were a few guest rooms. The 4th floor was for my parents, and the 5th and 6th floors were mostly guest rooms. But I've prepared a room for the group of people downstairs. Hua Jinyao took her hand and led her upstairs, introducing the place to her. Su Qingsang didn't say anything. She looked at the exquisite carvings on both sides and the painting hanging at the corner of the stairs. Everything in front of her was the complete opposite of the world she lived in. She went up to the 3rd floor and entered the room. Su Qingsang was shocked by the size of the room. Even though she had just heard Hua Jinyao's introduction, she was still a little surprised. The spacious room looked like it was half the size of her apartment. Pure European-style decoration. Carved big bed, handmade Italian furniture. There was also the imperial concubine's chair, which looked extremely comfortable and expensive, placed on the balcony. Su Qingsang glanced at Hua Jinyao, who was also looking at her. Honey, the luggage has been brought up. There's a cloakroom over here, and I'll get someone to prepare clothes for you. She brought Su Qingsang to the walk-in closet. Her luggage had already been carried up. Su Qingsang glanced at the cloakroom, which was even bigger than her room, and then looked at the high-end custom-made clothes hanging in it. She didn't know much about fashion, but she knew that these clothes were expensive. Just like the custom-made suit hanging beside her hand. She had once heard from Shi Mengwan that a suit cost more than 200,000 yuan. Some rich people had specially ordered it from abroad to be used as a wedding dress. But now, it was just hanging with the rest of the clothes. Su Qingsang turned to look at Hua Jinyao. She remembered that when he had moved into her house with a suitcase, her little closet had been filled with his clothes of unknown brands. Should she say that he was putting on a good act? It should be said that he was really condescending in front of her. What happened? Su Qingsang's gaze gave Hu Jinyao goosebumps. He leaned forward to look at Su Qingsang. Honey, what's wrong? Su Qingsang mimicked the way the man addressed her at the airport. Her tone was calm and emotionless. You've been living with me for the past few months. I'm sorry. Honey, what are you talking about? Hu Jinyao smiled awkwardly. What did I say? Su Qingsang walked into the cloakroom and unconsciously touched the clothes hanging on it. She turned to look at him with a mocking expression. Chapter 210. I'm really not. Hu Jinyao stepped forward and held her hand. Honey, don't be like this. I was wrong. I was wrong, okay? You weren't wrong. What did you do wrong? Su Qingsang withdrew her hand, and there was a hint of coldness in the corners of her eyes. I think you should listen to your mother and divorce me. After all, a woman like me might really be with you for your money. Don't you think so? Honey. Hu Jinyao was about to lose to her. Just say it. Don't belittle yourself like this. How is it belittling? I'm telling the truth. Su Qingsang was indeed very angry. She was angry that Hu Jinyao hid it from her and that he took matters into his own hands. If he had informed her about the situation today, she wouldn't have been so passive downstairs. On the surface, it seemed that she didn't suffer any losses. But in reality, it was the first day she met his family, and she left such an impression on them. Right now, she felt like she had nothing left to live for. Honey. Hu Jinyao wanted to laugh it off. How could Su Qingsang agree? Don't call me that. Your mother's words make sense. Your family is so rich. I'm just an illegitimate daughter. Of course, I'm not good enough for you. Su Qinghui was born a commoner. After he got together with Li Qianxue, he slowly made his fortune. Although he was outstanding, the Su family only lived in a large villa. The old house of the Li family could be compared to the Hua family. But in terms of location and value, it couldn't compare to the Hua family. Su Qingsang really didn't know that the man she had casually married was actually so powerful. The young master of the Hua family? She didn't even need to check it now. How could she forget Tianyu Group? It was a group that had businesses all over the country and was even more powerful than the Li family. With Hu Jinyao's status, he could marry any woman he wanted. No wonder Hu Jinyao's mother didn't like her and didn't want her to be with Hu Jinyao. Honey. Hu Jinyao was shocked by Su Qingsang's words. He grabbed her hand and asked, Are you angry with me? Can't I be angry? Su Qingsang pulled her hand back. You hid it from me for so long. Do you think I'm wrong to be angry? That's right. Hu Jinyao cleared his throat and reached for Su Qingsang's hand again. Look, no matter how much money the Hua family has, it's the Hua family's money, not mine, so I'm not lying to you. Please forgive me. Forgive you? Su Qingsang nodded. Sure, but I have a condition. What? Divorce. Su Qingsang said casually, This is a marriage built on deception. I want to leave. Her lips were blocked, so she couldn't say the rest of her words. Su Qingsang found it hard to breathe and reached out to push him away. He bit down on her lips as if punishing her. Su Qingsang felt the pain and pushed harder. Hu Jinyao finally stepped back, but he didn't let go of her. He pressed her against the wall of the walk-in closet and restrained her hands, not letting her break free. He pressed his forehead against hers and stared at her face with a pair of burning eyes. Su Qingsang blushed because of the breath he was exhaling. Chapter 211. She couldn't move and could only stare at him. Hu Jinyao, you rascal. I'm a rascal. What's wrong? He leaned over and bit her lips. I'm only a rascal to you. Su Qingsang's heart was beating fast. She looked at the man and said, Let me go. What are you doing? What do you mean? Hu Jinyao put his arms around her waist. I think it's good. Very good. As he spoke, he kissed her again. Su Qingsang blushed and even forgot why she was angry in the first place. Get out of my way. Stop it. I'm not. Hu Jinyao put his arms around her waist. Honey, I want you. This guy was really. Su Qingsang was still trying to push him away when someone knocked on the door. Hua Jinyao stopped for a moment. The servant's voice came from outside the door. "Young master, dinner will be ready soon. The old master asked you to take young mistress downstairs for dinner." "Right away." Hua Jinyao responded and let go of Su Qingsang. He took a small step back and said, "Don't be angry. Let's go down for dinner." Su Qingsang looked a little uncomfortable. "I don't want to go down. Honey, your mother doesn't like me. I'm afraid that if I go down, she'll be too angry to eat. You don't care whether she likes you or not." Hua Jinyao took her hand. "I like you." Hua Jinyao. He thought that everyone was as open-minded as he was. They didn't care about anything. "She doesn't even like me. How could she like you?" Hua Jinyao's voice was a little low. Su Qingsang froze for a moment and said without thinking, "Are you also an illegitimate child?" As soon as she finished speaking, she was hit on the forehead. "What nonsense are you talking about?" After Hua Jinyao knocked on her forehead, he saw that she looked like she was in a lot of pain, so he rubbed her forehead again. "I've thought about this too, but I've done a paternity test. I'm my mother's biological son. Then why doesn't she like you? Wasn't that too strange? Which mother didn't like her own son?" Hua Jinyao withdrew his hand, took her hand and walked outside. "Who knows? Maybe we are born incompatible and she doesn't like me." There was a flash of gloom in his eyes, but it was too quick for Su Qingsang to notice. She turned to look at Hua Jinyao, feeling a little more sympathy for him. Li Qianxue and Su Qinghui didn't like her because she was an illegitimate daughter. However, it was strange that Hua Jinyao's parents didn't like him even though he was their own child. She was sure that things weren't as simple as they seemed. It couldn't be like what Hua Jinyao said. But from the looks of it, he obviously didn't want to talk about it. He was a little curious, but he didn't ask any more. Seeing that he didn't look too good, Su Qingsang spoke subconsciously. "Maybe it's not that your mom doesn't like you, it's just that she's going through menopause." Hua Jinyao turned around and looked at her in shock. When he met her extremely serious gaze, he suddenly burst out laughing. "Haha." The gloominess in his eyes disappeared, and he leaned over to kiss Su Qingsang's cheek. "Honey, you're so cute." Su Qingsang blushed again. She wiped the non-existent saliva off her face and glared at him. "Go downstairs and eat." "This honey." Chapter 212. Today, all the members of the Hua family were present. Su Qingsang had never had the experience of eating together with such a large family. Old Master Li only had one daughter, Li Qianxue. The Li family was a small family. The Su family was even more so. After all, Su Qinghui's parents had passed away a long time ago. As soon as they entered the dining room, they saw that the large round table was full of people. The Hua family had two dining rooms. One was a European-style dining room with a European-style long table. Usually, if the other members of the Hua family didn't come, Old Master Hua would eat in this dining room. If many people came, they would eat in this dining room. Compared with the European-style buildings outside, this dining room had a completely different style. The round table inside was specially booked by Old Master Hua. The large round table could seat 20 people, and there was a wheel on it. It was the first time that Su Qingsang saw someone use a wheel at home. She glanced around and saw that Hua Jinyao's uncle and aunt's family were sitting on one side and the other. Hua Mingguang and Lu Tongjia were sitting on the left side of Old Master Hua. There were 2 seats left on the right side. Seeing Hua Jinyao and Lu Tongjia enter the door, Old Master Hua waved at them and said, Come, sit here." Su Qingsang instinctively looked at Hua Jinyao, but he took her hand and sat down next to Old Master Hua. When Hua Yifan and Hua Yang saw this, they looked at each other and understood the meaning in each other's eyes. Lu Tongjia didn't look good. She really didn't like this daughter-in-law, but Old Master Hua had spoken, so she couldn't object. She was angry, so she looked at Hua Jinyao and Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang couldn't help being stared at by her mother-in-law like that, so she subconsciously glanced at Hua Jinyao. Hua Jinyao was also looking at her and patted the back of her hand under the table to comfort her. Su Qingsang relaxed a lot because of his action. The two of them were very subtle in their actions. However, the feelings that were revealed from their gazes still shocked everyone else present. Hui Yifan narrowed his eyes, and there was a flash of deep meaning in his eyes. The other people had different expressions, but the surprise in their eyes was not less. Lu Tongjia sat next to old Master Hua and naturally saw her son's little gestures. She looked more and more worried. The closer Hua Jinyao was to Su Qingsang, the worse she looked. Hua Mingguang wasn't as direct as Lu Tongjia, but he narrowed his eyes slightly because of his son's behavior. The only one who was happy was probably old Master Hua. Today I am very happy. It was not only because Jinyao was back, but also because Jinyao had a family. The ancients said that one should start a family and start a career. Now that the family has been established, Jinyao, you have to start taking care of it. Do you know? Grandpa. Don't worry, I won't let you down. The conversation made the Hua brothers, Wei Sihai, and the others all have different expressions on their faces. Grandpa Sheng turned to look at Su Qingsang as if he didn't see it. Qingsang, I'm very happy that you're going home with Jinyao. Since you married into the Hua family, you are a part of the Hua family. How about this? I don't have anything else to give you. I have a villa in the West District, so take it as a greeting gift. Tomorrow, I'll have someone accompany you to handle the transfer procedures. As soon as these words came out, his cousins were astonished and shocked again. The expressions of the Hua brothers changed slightly. Even Wei Ximing's expression was very ugly. She knew that villa. When she was 20 years old, she wanted Grandpa to give it to her, but Grandpa refused. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.